Episode number 18. This is one that is a huge passion of mine recently. We're going to talk about energetics of finances. So making money, and then also actual like easy ways. It's easy, obvious ways to make money right now. That's not some scheme. It's just for you to actually go do your own research. So starting out, I think legally have to actually, I'm just some asshole in the gym. I'm not a financial advisor, all right? I'm not giving you financial advice.
Do you have to do that legally?
I don't know. I guess I am giving you financial advice, but not in the capacity of a financial advisor. Just a nerd that studies a lot, that just talks about his thoughts, okay? So don't do your own research. This is for entertainment and also for you to potentially, yeah, okay? And then we'll move on to gold and silver. Okay, so gold has been for the most part, the default. So remember I talked about fiat currencies that all end up going to zero. Whenever there's been a financial reset, gold has, for over 5,000 years, been used as like a form of currency. So gold is just a piece of metal, right? There's a scarcity to it, but there's thousands and thousands of years where gold has been used as a store of value. Right, so that's why you hear some people talk about like a gold-backed currency. I don't think that's actually going to happen in that way, but gold has been used as a store of value. So one, if you think the dollar is rapidly losing value, if you move into physical gold or silver, or physical gold, let's just put it that way, one, you're hedging against inflation, right? So as the dollar loses value, gold goes up, right? It's not because you're getting more spending power in that 1 ounce of gold. It just means that it's actually holding its value. Okay, and then two, here's what the proper valuation of gold is. So people that I really respect as far as like their economic knowledge and like how they're evaluating everything, gold right now should probably be priced around $11,000 an ounce if it was properly valued. It's about $2,000 an ounce, right? So that means it's about it's valued at about 20% less than what it should be right now because it's been artificially suppressed. So have you ever heard of like futures, like trading futures? You ever heard of it? Okay. So when you're trading futures, right? So basically gold's at $2,000, right? Futures, there's going to be an expiration date or a maturity date, and then you're basically trading contracts for, hey, I think gold in a month from now is going to be worth 2050, right? And then it's just betting. So then it's like whether that happens or not, right? So it's basically like betting on the price of something in the future.
Okay.
Okay. So like you could bet $3,000, right? Because that's way higher than what it is now, right? You're gonna it's way riskier. But if it actually hits $3,000, right, then you'll actually make way more money. Okay. Now that's a very manipulated market right now where technically based on the contract, you're supposed to, if you have like 100 ounces of gold, which is actually worth a lot of money, but if you have a real contract, you can actually take deliveries, all right? So if I trade futures, technically I can actually take delivery of physical gold, right? If it actually hits, because that's how it works, okay? Mm-hmm. For the most part, before, people didn't want to take possession of physical gold or silver because they're like, I don't want to hold that because it gets heavy. It's like, what if someone steals it? Like there's all these things. Mm-hmm. But what's going on economically right now over the last few months, the people taking possession of their physical gold and silver has been going up like this. Okay. Now it's been it's a well-known thing in the gold and silver futures market that market is highly manipulated, right? Because if there's a lot of futures at this contract, when it kind of gets close to the maturity date, I could just smash down the price, let the contract expire, and then make money that way, and then kind of let it go up. So I can actually manipulate it, okay? And it's through, buying and trading, because if more people are buying, prices are gonna go up, right? More people are selling, it goes down. If you have a big enough stack or cash, you can actually manipulate the market. But more recently, over the last few months, but especially the last month, because people can't artificially suppress it anymore, or the people in charge, and it's JP Morgan, like Goldman Sachs, a lot of the big institutional banks, because they can't push it down anymore, because people are taking delivery, right? So they have to deliver, and when they deliver, there's a lot of pressure on them to go and acquire more gold and silver because they're essentially like trading like 1 ounce of gold to 5 people, right? So they're promising it to 5 different people, and I can only deliver it to one person, and they're manipulating. It's very, very shady. And now people are taking delivery, right? It's putting a lot of pressure, and that's starting to come undone. Gold, silver, for example, over the last month has gone up, as of the recording of this video, 52% in 1 month. No one's talking about it. Gold's now at an all-time high. Previous all-time high was 1920. Gold's up about like 14%, but right now it's at like 2030. So it was like 1920 all-time high, all-time. Now it's trading at $2,030, right? And it's going to go up more and more. So gold and silver are great because, one, it's not properly valued, and 2, it's hedging against inflation. I talk about silver because silver is noticeably more suppressed than gold, right? And now it's actually the one that shot up the most because it was suppressed so much. And then there's a traditional or a historic gold to silver ratio. Usually gold will be about 30 times the price of silver. Back in March or April, it actually went all the way up to 125 times, right? So that means even gold to silver ratio, it was way too high. So it's going to come down. So now it's down to about 75. It'll probably drop lower just because silver is going up at a way faster price than gold. So that's why like you kind of make a decision between gold and silver. And then when the money, fiat currency, goes to zero, right, it is highly likely we're going to go to some kind of gold backing. Again, this is now just pure speculation on my part, because if your money's not worth anything anymore, right, $100 to you is not worth anything, and then the government's like, hey, it's okay, we're going to print this new money, and then you can just use that. Are you going to trust it? It's a rhetorical question. Are you going to trust it? We just messed up this money. Oh, it's a coronavirus's fault, by the way. It's a coronavirus's fault. But you know what? Now we're going to do it right. We're going to just print a new kind of money, and you can just trade your old money for this money. Are you going to trust it?
No.
You're not going to trust it. But what if I actually told you, for every $2,000, you'll actually be able to trade that $2,000 in for an ounce of gold whenever you want. So we're going to back it by gold. Like, you have our word, even though we don't necessarily trust the government, that you can actually trade it for gold. So it could be either money or gold, depending on how you want to hold it, right? Would you have more trust in it?
I don't know at this point.
You don't know? You still wouldn't trust it? Okay, well, okay.
Because why is gold and silver backed? Like, why can I trust in gold and silver?
Well, gold because, well, even silver, but I'll just talk about gold. Like, gold because it has a history, thousands of years of being agreed upon as a store of value.
So that's why I trust it?
Yeah, so even if the dollar withers away, people will agree that gold has value, right? Like the agreement that, like, it is way less likely that people are going to be like, gold's not worth anything, and not be willing to trade it.
Okay,
Does that
just
make sense?
because there's a higher chance for more people to agree that gold is valuable.
There's an like exponentially higher chance.
Okay.
If our dollar inflates away, and then I have like a gold coin, right?
Yeah.
There's still going to be, and then so like that's why you have to have something to base the value on. Okay, so like we actually went away from the silver standard in the late 19th century, so 18 something, right? So we moved off of that, and then up until 1964, our dimes, quarters, and half dollars were made with 90% silver. And then after 1964, starting in 1965, we started dropping that percentage. So that's why any coins, so half dollars, quarters, and dimes
Are so valuable.
are called junk silver, and they're actually very, very valuable. So like, for example, when I bought some like physical junk silver, like a dime was worth like $1.30 when I bought it, and then like now it's worth like $2.20 per dime, right? And then obviously, you have more than one dime, but you could test how. And it's really cool when you look at the spot price. So that's the agreed upon price, right? You can look that up online anytime you want. And then it's almost like trading baseball cards, but for an adult, right? You're like, wow, this dime was worth $1.20 before. Now the agreed upon price is $2.20. And I can go to any local gold or silver dealer where you can actually deal with more reputable, like really large bullion dealers online. Like I can actually lock in a price with them and then sell it to them. That's like really, really cool. Okay, so when the precious metals, gold is probably the safest, even though I think at this point, all of these things I'm talking about are pretty safe. Like it's not even that risky at this point. Your chances of winning with gold is that one, it's not properly valued. Two, you're hedging against inflation. And then three, if there's a financial reset, we're gonna have to back gold onto something, right? It could be treasury bonds. It could be, I don't think it'll actually be our currency. It could be just the currency that like central banks use, right? But like gold will probably use or peg to something to help build confidence between countries and then for people when our financial system resets. Okay, does that make sense? Silver probably won't be used for it, which is why it's a little bit more risky, but silver is more undervalued and it's obviously it shot up 52% in the last month compared to gold, which is at like 12, 13%, right? And it's probably gonna go up more, but it's also, it's probably not gonna be used for money in that way. So that's why silver is a little more volatile, but also the return is gonna be a lot higher, okay? In my opinion, strong opinion, both of those are highly undervalued. So even the gold's at an all-time high right now, relative to what it should be worth and then what it could be, you're still getting a really good deal. And then if you want to buy it, for example, you look up like JM Bullion online, right? That's a place to buy. You can buy it online. You wire them the money, they let it clear, verify it through, they send it to you, right? Or you could go to a local gold or silver dealer. And gold and silver dealers, you know, they have a reputation to uphold. So especially if there's one that's been around for a while, you know they have to have done business ethically or else there's just no way. Like people just won't trust it, right? Like one bad review, it's over. So if a gold or silver dealer has been around for a bit, you can kind of trust them. Kind of like, you know, if a Uber driver has like 1,000 reviews and they're all pretty good, right? You could trust that it's probably a good, and you probably have like a Karen that complain about it, but you know how that goes, right? Okay. So that's gold and silver. Any question on that?
No.
Okay. And then the downside is one, you have to take physical possession of it. Because if you don't own it, you don't hold it. I mean, you don't hold it, you don't own it.
Okay.
Okay. And then if you're talking about like gold, for example, there's COMEX, so trading futures, obviously corrupt as fuck. I just wouldn't get into it. If you go into like ETFs or gold stock, a little better than COMEX, right? But it's still like, the money gets stuck in there. You don't know like what's going to happen. You still don't actually own it. And there's actually physical gold and silver. Okay. That's kind of like the difference.
Kwong is popular.
Yeah. Okay. So that's precious metals. Now, cryptocurrency, you don't know anything about it. Okay. So
You've told me a little bit.
yeah. Okay. So you have a Starbucks app?
No.
You know, okay, I have a Starbucks app, okay? And I can load money from my debit card into the Starbucks app. Now it shows up as US dollars in there, right? And then if I go and swipe it at Starbucks, one, I get points, right? And then two, I could get a coffee for it, right? If you load dollars into the Starbucks app and it shows up as something else that's not US dollars, and then on the back end, it's using something called a blockchain. So blockchain is just basically digitally, there's like one block, right? And then it's verified. And then there's the next block. So you can't manipulate it. You can't create more of it. And it's really, really clear what's going on. You could start calling that a cryptocurrency, okay? Our financial system and just our society as a whole is rapidly moving towards blockchain technology, where you also have, it's a little bit more centralized. It's called distributed ledger technology, DLT, and it's already happening, right? Like about 3 weeks ago, it was announced that banks can now officially hold crypto for people. China has already rolled out testing in April of their digital yuan, so their digital RMB, so they're basically moving their money to digital. By the way, when our dollar collapses, and then we're gonna do a reset, you'll probably get it fed to you as a digital dollar. It'll be called a digital dollar, right? Hey, it's a digital dollar. It's called the same thing. The nature of it is completely different. It's not a fiat currency anymore. It's a digital dollar, okay? And then the latest stimulus coming out, it's actually in the debated stimulus bill. It's taking too long. People need to get their $1,200, right? Well, you'll know we're moving towards a digital dollar if for you to get your money faster, right? They're gonna have you download like a digital wallet, so then they could deposit the money into the digital wallet on your phone, and then from there you can actually transfer it to your bank account. Okay, that's a first step. Like this stuff is happening. Like there's all these like leading signs, right? And then people aren't paying attention.
Is another stimulus check going out?
It just, right now they're like supposedly they're debating in Congress, but
Okay.
it's gonna happen.
Okay.
Okay, so $1,200, guys, but never mind everything else that's going on. Look at your $1,200. Okay, so when you're getting into crypto, you're essentially right now getting into what it's almost like the dot-com bubble, right? So at the time there was like PayPal, there's Google, there's Amazon, right? There's these like giants now that actually made it out of the dot-com bubble and are worth probably like trillions of dollars at this point, right? Like company valuation, their stock is worth so much, right? But back then you could get Amazon stock at like $3 or something, right? So right now we're at that ground floor. So crypto is more risky than gold and silver because there's about 5,000 something cryptocurrencies right now. I think 95+% of them are going to end up going away, right? Just because it's kind of unregulated. Only this year, especially the last month, are we seeing more and more like regulations coming out determining how to regulate crypto. Okay, so as that happens, most of the cryptocurrencies are going to go away, but the ones that survive are going to return a bunch of money, just a ridiculous amount of money.
With the price of Bitcoin breaking through $11,000, a lot of people are asking themselves, is this upward movement sustainable? And the answer is yes. People are looking at Bitcoin as a multi-asset function. They're looking at it as a safe haven. They're looking at it as an inflation play, and they're trying to protect themselves from whatever central bank that they affiliate themselves with, the devaluation of the underlying currency, like what we're seeing in the dollar index. The dollar has been down 6 weeks in a row. People are looking at a protection play, and everything from lumber to copper to sugar to Bitcoin have all rallied substantially over the past quarter.
Okay, and it's because so I'm really high on it because the thing with crypto is you can't create more of it. Okay, so there's Bitcoin, there's just X amount of Bitcoin. Okay, it's on a blockchain, so you just can't create more of it. I'm not high on Bitcoin at all. Okay, don't get Bitcoin, but like there's something that people agree that has value, and then you can't create more of it, and then dollar goes down, and then you just know there's this much of this no matter what someone tries to do, right? It makes sense for you to want to move into that, right? And then two, our whole financial system and really our economy and just society is moving into blockchain technology, which is what crypto is backed on. So
which crypto? Because I asked you if I was going to put a low amount of money into something right now.
So Ashley's asking me if she was going to put a little bit amount of money. The one I'm by far the highest on is something called XRP. Okay, it's made by a company called Ripple. So XRP, they designed. So let's see, how do I make it really simple? So XRP is working with the government, a bunch of banks. They're already being used by banks. So I have a software called RippleNet, and then the token native to that software is called XRP. And it's designed to essentially replace our current money wiring system. Okay, so if you ever try to wire money internationally, it takes a few days, and then there's a fee that's expensive. The success rate's 94%, right? And then if it gets lost, sometimes it'll take like 30 days for them to find the money again and then get it back to the original account. And then you still get charged a fee. It's a 40-year-old system, and it's a bad system, and there's nothing to replace it right now except for XRP. Okay, so XRP is a software, so now it takes less than 3 seconds to transfer money. So if I wanted to go from US dollars to the Mexican peso, right? The SWIFT system, which is the old wiring system, would put money from US dollars into a separate institution. It's called like a Nostro or Vostro account. And then from that Nostro Vostro institution, they're going to move money into Mexico for pesos, and then the person there will get the money, right? Now, it just takes 3 seconds. It's going to convert from US dollars to XRP, and XRP to Mexican pesos, and then they get it. And then the fees less than a penny, even if you're transmitting millions of dollars. Okay, so if you have a Nostro Vostro account like the old system, you have to actually have a bunch of money locked up in those accounts all throughout the world to be able to do this transfer system, right? Again, it fails 6% of the time, and there's a high fee. So XRP is actually solving a real world problem. They're actually working with a bunch of governments. Like you could see like the CEO of Ripple, which is the company that produced the software that has XRP on it, like at big meetings with like central bankers, with government officials. So like they're the only company in the crypto world who's actually trying to enhance or integrate and then enhance the existing system, and they're already being used. So it's not even like a future thing. They're actually providing value. They're already being used to save people a lot of money. Okay, so that's XRP. The other one is called VET. It's for a company called VeChain, VeChain. VeChain is already being used in Walmart and Sam's Club China. And what they do is they help with supply chain, right? So if I'm X company, right, I have to get the raw materials, produce the goods, and I make the goods, and then it goes into like stores and I ship it out. Like there's all these like different stages of product, right? VeChain makes that a lot more efficient. It allows you to track it, and then especially in China, a huge thing is counterfeiting, right? So it prevents counterfeiting, and so basically it saves big companies a lot of money to use it because one, you can manipulate it, and it actually helps track. So VeChain's already, like, for example, like if you look at like Tyson chicken, whether you agree with it's a good product or not, Tyson chicken, you can actually see a little V on there, and then you can actually scan it, and you can see when the chicken was packaged. You can see all of that stuff. Okay, so it's already being adopted. Now, for example, if a company like Amazon adopts VeChain, right, it will actually help save them a lot of money and make everything more efficient. But then also, if it becomes adopted by Amazon, VeChain's price will go up a lot because it has to be at a certain price to actually be able to be used by those big companies, right? XRP has to be at a certain price to be able to actually transmit the world's money, replacing SWIFT. So by the way, like SWIFT originally it started in, I forgot what country, but it was like, it started in some like small country, and it was just in like 22 banks across like 15 countries. Right, in 1973, I want to say. And then 1979, that was when the US officially adopted it. And now it's transmitting the world's money. Okay, so I think XRP is actually going towards that route. And then VeChain is for supply chain. Those are two I'm by far the highest on because one, it's already being used by actual companies or actual banks in XRP's case. And then two, it's actually providing value to an existing system, and it's not actually trying to undermine an existing system. Because if people aren't in power, and then there's a cryptocurrency that's designed to basically make what you do useless, right? The people who are in power have a way higher chance of just squashing and killing your project.
Yeah.
Right? So if you had a little bit amount of money, XRP is trading at 29.5 cents right now. It was at 20 cents about 3 weeks ago, right? So it's gone up about 35% in 3 weeks. XRP is up about 46%, but when it actually gets adopted, which there's all these signs where it's getting adopted here, they're setting up a corridor here, it's not just going up like 50 to 100%, it's gonna go up like thousands of percent. So you're getting 50, 60, maybe 100, 200 times your money back. For something that, there's obviously going to be a risk, right? But for something where the risk seems pretty contained, and then for the potential return, it's a really, really great opportunity, right? And like for that right now, I would say cryptocurrency, the price of VeChain and VET, VET, and XRP are severely undervalued. and the stock is overvalued. So even though they're both probably going to go up, same thing with gold and silver, when our economy pops, right, I think residential real estate prices is going to drop, and I don't think it will bounce back for a while. Stock market prices will drop, just a proper valuation, whereas maybe crypto, gold and silver will pull back a little bit, but then it'll actually go even higher because it's outside of the central system, right? Like it's not manipulated in a way where it's overinflated, it's underinflated. Okay, so there's overvalued assets, undervalued assets. And then when that happens, right, then maybe I'll look, well, now I think commercial real estate is undervalued, and then I think gold is properly valued, then I'll just move out of gold and move into commercial real estate, right? Just because, you know, you want to move away from something that's overvalued, invest in something that's undervalued, and that's spending power, right? So it doesn't matter the dollar amount. You want to increase your spending power through investing in that way. Okay?
Okay, heard.
Anything? Any questions? I feel like I'm just talking.
No questions.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I'll probably do some stuff with XRP and that.
Okay, yeah. If you have any questions, we'll talk offline. Pick a song, please.
Wait, I want to say something about finances that I've learned.
Okay, go ahead.
So this has really not much to do with what he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's like another side of it. Or another part of it, not really another side of it.
54 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, this is going to be split up into 2 videos.
Mm-hmm.
But something that I have realized recently, and someone actually kind of told this to me, and I didn't really understand what they were saying until I experienced it. But if you're like playing the same, so our beliefs really create our reality. So if we believe that we're only going to make this amount of money, or we believe this or that, that's most likely what's going to happen. So shifting your belief in what you are capable of, and then playing a different ball game. So don't continue to act as if you only have this amount of money, or you're only going to have this amount of money. Believe that more money will come in, and then act at a different level. And as I've been doing that, more money has actually come in as I've started acting at a different level. So
yeah, and I will, just to add on that, right? I recommended the book or audiobook at the very beginning. To be able to shift your belief, and if it doesn't shift, the place you have to go is to notice what's actually there right now.
Right, yeah. And
it's not just a surface level as, oh, this is just what I think. If you start being aware of it a little bit, you'll actually notice a lot more. So like, for example, if you have just heard secondarily around your life when you're growing up that rich people are greedy, rich people are greedy, you know, they got their, you know, whatever, right? Like that is actually what's holding you down, right? Whereas it's not like because you're not smart enough or you don't like money or whatever, like, you know, your relationship with money is that it's greedy, right? So like you can start like drilling down into that, and like so seeing what's there right now, is what actually will allow you to shift.
Yeah, and then like we talked about in the beginning of the video, also understanding your why to wanting to even make money shifts things as well. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and then finally, like, you know, just to, you know, provide some like transparency and numbers, right? So in the crypto world, since I started in like mid-May, I'm up about 300%. And then obviously silver, you know, I started more than a month ago. It's probably about like, off the top of my head, like about 60%, and then gold's about like 15%. Okay, so just to give you it doesn't mean like that's what it's gonna keep staying at, but crypto has given me the highest return. And it's the one that the people are probably the most uncomfortable with.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Yeah. And another thing to be aware of is the whole concept of like life fills voids. Someone had mentioned to me a while ago, like you just take a risk and like invest your money into this thing that you want to do and trust that more will come.
Yes.
rather than just like holding on to it and saving everything and never buying anything.
Yeah. If you hold on to it, over the last 3 months, you lost about 8% of your purchasing power.
Yeah.
Through the dollar index. That's not completely accurate, yeah. So saving in cash is not actually being safer. It's actually the definite riskiest thing you can do because you're guaranteed to lose money if you just hold it in cash.
Ta-da. Okay, so song. I am picking Rescue by Lauren Daigle, I think that's her name. Daigle or Daigle. I'm picking this song because Derek Huff, who is a dancer, he choreographed a dance to this song and to like someone speaking about human trafficking. And yeah, and the dance is beautiful and I cried when I watched it, so I highly recommend going and watching the video. And the more awareness all of us as a collective have of this issue of human trafficking, the more power we will all collectively have to shift this. So definitely watch that dance. It's beautiful. And watch it till like the end, because in the beginning it's just like one dancer move, like they keep switching one dancer in and out, and then they come all together and it's like a group dance. So watch it, it's good. You can find that on Derek Huff's Instagram, which we'll link.
Yeah, and I actually find it crazy because right now, like with all the political stuff going on, right, when I heard of human trafficking, automatically I think politics, which is crazy because somehow like these like real issues have been like tied into like political sides.
Yeah, they are right now.
Which is really sad.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But awareness around human trafficking is definitely something.
It's still awareness around human trafficking. It's not. It doesn't have to be politics.
It doesn't. No. Yeah. And we, like when we talked about Black Lives Matter, it's something that can be shifted just by all of us having an awareness around it. Yeah. And then from there we can start to transform things. But it doesn't have to go anywhere into politics at all. Yeah. Yeah, it starts with you. So, watch that video. It's great. Listen to the song. That's it.
Longest podcast ever.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
You are not hidden. There's never been a moment you were forgotten. You are not hopeless. Though you have been broken, your innocence stolen. I hear you whisper underneath your breath. I hear your SOS, your SOS. I will send out an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true, I will rescue you. There is no distance that cannot be covered over and over. You're not defenseless. I'll be your shelter, I'll be your armor. I hear you whisper underneath your breath. I hear your SOS, your SOS. I hear the whisper